Okay. All right, well, welcome and good morning. You're joining us for Parenting Through Strength. And that's what we're gonna present through here till about 9:45. So I know the time's gonna go fast. We have we think we have a great day planned for you and hope you enjoy it. Hopefully we'll have some time at the very end too to allow you for questions, but we're very informal and want you to feel comfortable. So if questions come up, as they come up, please, we're such a small and intimate group. Please stop and ask. I just want to make sure that everybody's comfortable and feels like they can, be part of this. And we want you to be actively participating. Okay. So with that, we're going to introduce ourselves.
I'm Corina Schultz. I am the targeted resource teacher from Montgomery High School. Mi nombre es Corina Schultz. Soy la maestra de recursos para la escuela Montgomery.
Hi, I'm Autumn Sandwald. I am a special education teacher here at Montgomery High School. I'm a parent of a 2-year-old, and I'm looking forward to using strengths and the things that we're sharing with you today with my son in the future. I feel like I'm able to use some of it like with my students and things like that, but I'm looking forward to using it with my own son someday.
My name is Louis Zoomstein. I'm the proud principal of Montgomery High School and a father to 5 wonderful kids and then 1,700 of them as well here at Montgomery High School. And I've been principal here for 3 years and previously was at the middle school for 5, as well as Hilltop Middle for 1. And very happy to be here, but even happier to see all of your faces in front of us. So thank you. I'm going to start off with just kind of a quick story, and this is my story with strengths and how it began. So I worked at Montgomery Middle School. It was my first comprehensive high school as a principal. They had gone through about 7 principals in a year or two. So I got there, was trying to change the culture and climate, and what I noticed was there was wonderful, beautiful people there, but they were all kind of in their corners and in their rooms, and there wasn't a lot of sharing and cohesiveness. So, and the kids too. The kids were great, but there was just some things that were missing. And what was missing was kind of this character education, the support of how kids act and behave, and how we can all get together and be more collaborative. And so one night I went home, and my wife, who's also a teacher in the district, came home, and she had just taken the Clifton Strength Finder. And so, we're kind of, getting in bed, getting ready, just kind of talking about our day. She talked to me and she said, you know what, we just took this assessment and this training. I think it's exactly what you were talking about at school and what you needed. So we proceeded to kind of talk, and, 9 o'clock came, and 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. And she was just sharing all these beautiful things about herself that she had learned from this strength assessment. And then I'm not shy, or ashamed to say that we're both crying at the end of the night. And I found out things about her. She found out ways to express things that she had not been able to tell me. And granted, we had been together for over 30 years of our life. I'm almost 50, but my wife and I have been together since middle school, outside of a few years in high school and 1 in college that I wasn't very smart. But luckily she didn't hold that too much against me. So luckily been married with her ever since. And we found, again, through the strengths journey, we found out things about ourselves that we didn't know. We are so much stronger because of it. And I'm even more proud of the work at the middle school and the high school about how that's transferring to our adults, and that same idea is transferring to our kids as well. And it really is just a change in viewpoint from looking at what we're not so good at and trying to work on our weaknesses to more of a strength-based lens. What are we good at, and how can we use those things to help where we're having challenges at? Okay. And we want to kind of set the stage for all of you. So we're going to actually start with the end in mind. So we have 2 wonderful parents in our room right here, 2 of our star parents, Ms. Nahara and Ms. Haro, and we're going to watch their testimonials. So you're going to get kind of what's happened with their journeys over, what now, 3, 4, 5 years. So they're going to present to you because we want you to get their outcomes in mind, and then that way you have that as a perspective throughout this training today, okay?
Hi, my name is Rosita Haro. I want to start by saying that I'm biased when it comes to strengths because before strengths, we were a struggling family. My children were going through some academic challenges and emotional challenges as well. I think we were all kind of going through that phase, and meeting or knowing strengths really changed our lives. It gave us a new possibility. It gave us a new way of looking at things, a new perspective. We got to, learn who we were naturally, and it was a fun journey to go along with. My oldest son, Gael, he's in 11th grade. Before he found out his strengths, he was struggling academically. And once he found out his strengths, that he was an achiever, he had confidence, and he was dependable. He really changed. He was having a 504 at the time. And then after he learned his strengths, he was like, this is who I am and this is who I'm gonna be. And I said, let's do this. So he learned how to make his lists, to be organized. He decided to push himself to some more challenging courses. And sometimes he comes back to me with like, I'm scared to do this. And I have to remind him, use your confidence. You are a confident boy. You are prepared. You can do this. And then he goes out and he does it. And it's been really, really, really a beautiful experience to see my kids thrive. My second child, Nelson, he has ADHD and he was also on a 504. And his top strengths were competition, dependability, and caring. It was amazing to see him as well because he was using his competition with his friends, and then he noticed that he didn't like how some of his friends didn't want to be friends anymore because they didn't want to compete. They just wanted to be friends. And so he said, we had a conversation, and he decided that, you know what, I'm going to use my competition for my video games and my sports. And when I'm at school, I'm going to use my caring talents. So a lot of kids were connecting with him who were going through a rough patch, and Nelson was there supporting them, motivating them. He even took time to tutor them, to like work with them and do homework time together. It was so beautiful to see. Now I am working on developing my own strengths by just putting myself out there with my connectiveness, connecting to other people and helping them develop their strengths, because we're all unique. And I feel like this is so authentic that when we come together, it's so beautiful to see how people with different strengths can accomplish so many things, because it takes a village. It really does. And I can't wait to see what strengths is going to bring in the future. And my goal or my dream is to see people truly happy and living a meaningful life. And, I'm here to serve for the greater good, and I want all of us to do the same. Thank you.
And then we have one more.
Buenos días, padres de familia. Soy Vanessa Nájera, padre de familia con un hijo aquí en Montgomery High en el 11º grado. Estudié Fortalezas aquí en la escuela. Fortalezas es un programa que te ayuda a conocer tus fortalezas y enfocarte en ellas, más que en tus debilidades. Es algo que te ayuda a superarte, a tener una mejor relación en tu familia, con las demás personas, en la comunidad, con tus vecinos, como persona. Con mi hijo me ha ayudado a conocer sus fortalezas y podernos guiar el uno con el otro, conocer cada día más información sobre el tema. Es una vida como más fácil. Es algo que puedes hacer, que se te da naturalmente. Es hacer mejor las cosas con más energía, que estar enfocado en tus debilidades, y es como un atraso para tu vida. Te ayudan a conocer esas fortalezas y salir adelante. Estoy muy contenta con la escuela, con toda la ayuda que nos dan, con todo el apoyo, con todos los cursos que nos dan. Se los recomiendo, no se los pierdan. Y pues muchas gracias.
So, you can see just the impact that it's had on these two wonderful parents, but their families, right? And that you noticed in both of them talking about the strengths of their children, and it really gives them gives you a common language to speak to kids, and just like any of us, right? Whether it's our bosses or even I know, I'm 50, but even when my mom comes at me, right, with a positive to start off, my head's much more open, right? So when we can make those positive connections with each other, it just opens up the conversations. It opens up the understanding, right? Me as a child, and much more open to understanding where my mom's trying to help me and support me, rather than me closing my mind off because she's coming at me with this negativity. So, and we don't want you to get the feeling that strengths is all about everybody's strong at everything and everything's good. That's not the case. It's just, let's focus on what you are good at, what you're naturally talented at, to address those challenges and or weaknesses. And becoming more aware of your weaknesses, you can use your strengths to kind of counterbalance that. Okay. The process, and I'm going to turn it over. You're going to get sick. You're going to get sick of me here pretty soon. We're going to turn it over to our wonderful presenters and teachers in the room. So the process, this is kind of a model that we use with strengths. The first step is naming, and that's just about understanding your strengths. My top strength is relator. What does that mean? What does that mean within me? The second step is claiming it. When you get deeper into these conversations and interactions, you want to look back and reflect on, okay, at Montgomery Middle, we were really successful at doing this. Well, what was it? What was it that made it successful? Was it my relator strength to work with teachers, to understand parents? And you kind of make that claim, right? This strength connected me with this success. And then the third step is the aim. And that's where at the middle school, it's really exciting because this is where they're getting to. And even with our parents here, you've heard a story in that presentation where they were, Ms. Nahara was aiming Nelson's strength, or Nelson was aiming his strength of caring at something at school and was able to help and support. So the aim part is understanding what your strengths are. You claimed success before, and now how can I duplicate it with this new challenge? And that can go for you as a parent with a child. It can be with a child with their own challenges. So that's basic. We always say name, claim, and aim. And now I'm going to turn it over to do the naming. Do that, Ms. Schultz?
Sure. So our first step is naming. We need to name our strengths. So what we're going to watch momentarily is just kind of a video that explains your strengths. Right after that video, you should have some handouts that have the 34 strengths in front of you, and as well as the Explorer strengths that normally our children start taking at the middle school. So most of you have not taken our assessment. The video will explain what strengths is about, and then afterwards we're going to have you have a little activity where you're going to kind of highlight and just knowing yourself, highlight what strengths you think you are, or what strengths you think your child is as well.
And normally you'd get those strengths through doing the assessment or the test, but today you're just going to try to guess what your own are. Okay, here's the video.
Is zillion a real number? No, zillion's not a real number, but it is a word you might be tempted to use if you tried to list all the talents found among humankind. Creating a list of every talent is an impossible task, but if you step back, you'll see that talents often have something in common, a theme that connects them. Some talents, like a natural tendency to share thoughts, to create engaging stories, and to find the perfect word, relate directly to communication. That's what they have in common, their theme. So, to begin thinking and talking about them, we can call them communication talents. The Clifton Strengths Finder measures the presence of talent in 34 general areas or themes. Your Clifton Strengths Finder report includes a ranked listing of the 5 themes that hold your most dominant talents, your signature themes. Similar to your fingerprint, the sequence of your themes is unique to you. The odds The odds that someone has the same 5 signature themes in the same order as you are 1 in 33 million. You heard right, 1 in 33 million. Your report is a beginning, not an end. Take this opportunity to explore your talents, harness their power, and bring them to life every day. Try this. First, name it. To begin making your signature themes your own, grab a highlighter. Carefully consider each theme description in your report. Highlight words and phrases that specifically resonate with you. You'll know you're highlighting the right things when you hear yourself say, "That's me." Next, claim it. Post your signature themes and the words or phrases you have highlighted in a place where you'll see them every day. Share your report with people close to you. Ask for their reaction. Then, aim it. Pick one of your signature themes and think about it for a day. Ask yourself, how can I use this theme today? Where can this theme make a positive difference in my life today? Begin to flex this theme by using the action items provided in your report to hone your talents into strengths. Like muscles, strengths can wither if they're not exercised regularly. What will be your daily practice to stay in tip-top shape? Once you are deliberately using this theme every day, focus on another signature theme. As you start to flex each of your signature themes, you'll find ways to build on your greatest areas of potential. Our talents are an instinctive and intuitive source of wisdom and power. When we begin to intentionally tap into this power, we gain the ability to transform every moment, every interaction, and every day. You have dynamic talents just waiting to be unlocked and developed. Use your Clifton StrengthsFinder report to name, claim, and aim your signature themes.
Okay, so much of this is truly about the assessment, but much of it's not. You know, it's good parenting. It's just common sense, but it's also things that we don't often pay, sit down and pay specific attention to. Everyone in here, the parents in here are going to get a book. It's parenting or strengths-based parenting, and within that book is an assessment with a code that you can take. You can take that assessment, and there's also a code with the Strength Explorer, which is recommended for students 10 to 14. If you have a child that's older, you may want to give the adult part to them rather than you, or it's up to you. But you'll have 2 codes, one for 10 to 14ish, and then one from 15 and beyond, so that you can use as you so please. Okay, and we hope that you enjoy that. So you will eventually be able to take that assessment if you choose. Okay.
So the next part is you have the handout. We're going to have everyone should have a highlighter. If you have not taken the strengths assessment, we ask that you just look at the 34 strengths that are listed and pick 5 that you kind of feel they connect to you, that you relate to, and then hopefully when you take the assessment, we'll see where you're at.
Okay. Oh, which charger is it?
What?
Is it that same? In my backpack. Oh, gotcha.
I'm just gonna go. I can just go.
So you're just choosing ones that you feel associated, that you would identify with.
Okay.
It'll be especially interesting for those of you who hadn't taken it, that do, to see if you match.
I just took mine, again, it changed because of the two dots.
And I did.
I'm trying to pull it.
I didn't. I was very hesitant to do that because of the last time. It was interesting.
Got it disappearing for sure. So that's my previous, that's the right. Yeah, these two, you have to reword yourself. So I'm. You look at that stuff, it's nice to see. Yeah, you know.
Oh, it is presenting.
It is presenting, it's on, I think it's,
Yeah. Oh, I moved it over there for a second.
yeah, it's on, it's on. Yeah, on, presented from hers.
She was saying that I needed to share the screen.
After she came in, I just clicked share. And then
So what do I do now?
Just bring it,
Minimize?
bring the computer back.
So just for the sake of time, I think we're gonna move on. So as long as you have like 1 or 2 strengths highlighted, I think you're okay. And then later you could find maybe your potential 5.
Moving on to the next activity. Here we go. Name activity. We're gonna have them line up, right?
Yeah.
So what we're gonna have you do, we're gonna line up. We can line up maybe along the back side of our classroom here. What we're gonna do, look at this nice picture here. We're gonna talk about rooms, children's room. I have children. I have a 4-year-old and I have a 9.
Oh, wait, I did the autumn one. Never mind. I got it.
Uh-oh.
It's the,
Oh.
My 9-year-old, her room, I'm so scared to go in there because I don't know what's gonna attack me. My 4-year-old, and he's a little boy, he's very organized, he's very excited. As parents, we can relate with our children's rooms. So what we're gonna have you do is we're gonna have you get up
And then go.
and go to 2 different sides of the room.
which side is this side is gonna be the very tidy side, tidy, neat, and then organized, and then that's gonna be the not so tidy,
Okay.
maybe even cluttered side.
I'm over here. I'm cluttered. I'm kind of in the middle though, I guess.
Or if you're just, you know, yeah.
I can open the drawers, then it's cluttered.
So what we want you to do now, just kind of think of the strengths that you've kind of picked and just have a discussion amongst ourselves here. Why did we go over to the clean side of your room? Number one, C.
Could you line up for you or your kids? Okay, we can do that. We can do that. So line up, make sure you lined up for your kids. Your kids are, that's all right, we can switch it. So if your kids' room is dirty and unorganized, you can be on that side. If they're really clean and organized, then you're on this side. As far as kids can be, right? Okay, so I'm gonna be over there. then.
Pretty accurate.
So then I guess the conversation now is kind of explain what strengths do you think your child, in this case, your strength, right? What strength keeps your room organized and tidy? And then over here, we'll talk about what strengths are the kids maybe, in a positive light. How can we make their strengths in a positive light explain how their room is? So kind of think and then discuss. I got mine. I know exactly why one of my kids is messy. One of my kids' strengths is she is a relator. And so she wants to be part of everything. She loves connecting with everybody and being, you say she has FOMO, like a fear of missing out, but she's in everything. Her room's messy because she's always coming in, changing for one activity, putting on stuff to go to another. And so she's so worried about the outside and getting to these things to relate and be part of things that her room suffers because she's just always want to go. So.
Yeah, mine's kind of similar. My toddler, he's only like 2.5. But I feel like he's always moving on to the next thing. First he plays with the trains and then he just leaves it. And then he goes over here and plays with this, right? So I feel like that's like his future thinker. He's always like thinking about, oh, what's the next thing I want to do? But it leaves his room messy and it leaves the whole house messy. So yeah, I think that's this big thing he has, but that's how it plays out.
Anybody else on the side want to share?
For my brothers, because he took his 2 years ago. I know it's changed, so I'm gonna get him to do it again, but I know he has harmony and something wanting to be significant. So I know he always just wants to Yeah, he just wants to go online though and hang out with his friends where they're all at. So his room and everything else could just be like, I just live here space. I don't have to contribute to it. I just need to show up to it. But I'll be online. I'll shoot with my friends. I'll give them my best. So I see that. It's a good thing. He's really good connecting and chatting it up. I just wanted to bring that energy to pick up. There we go. Thank you for that.
Any other parents? You like it or you're on the clean side of it?
Yeah, good job. She's really.
Well, yeah, you gotta take us to the end of this. activity.
I like having these things where I can know too fast. I use this, I know where it is. I don't like doing messy when I'm in a rush for looking things, forget something.
I want to share something my son said when I told him to clean his room, as my administrator. He's an achiever and he's taking an AP class right now. He's been really stressed out. And I said, clean your room. It's going to clear your mind. It's going to help him. He said, that's your strength, not mine.
I think that's such a great example when like your family is a part of it, it becomes that common language that you can use to talk about and discuss things. I love that. That's a great example. Thank you.
Okay, we only have 11 minutes, so I'm gonna rush you through the claim portion of it so that we can get to this. We feel like a really neat scenario in the aim section. So I'm gonna talk you through this part and we're not gonna actually do it, okay? But the claim activity, again, claiming is we're reflecting back onto a prior success, identifying and connecting a strength to that. We did a little bit of that with the messy room scenario. But I got a picture of graduation. You won a sports championship or even a little thing, right? You got ready on time. So what did you do differently? How did that organizer strength help you get ready on time? So it's making that connection and identification. So that's what we were gonna have you do, just so that you can better understand. But for the sake of time, we're gonna move past this.
To the favorite one.
Yes, and this is really where we want to be, right? We really want to get to the point where, my child's got an AP test next week and they're not feeling very good about it. Or my child's struggling with a relationship at school and we need to fix this. Or even, I do real good with my kids, my 1,700 kids here, but I sometimes struggle with my 5 kids at home developing that bond and strength. I could be our kid's best friend going through the hallway and I'm like a superstar. And then I get home and it's all, here comes dad. So, we need to aim our strengths to help with those scenarios.
And this is really quickly a 1-minute video of a student aiming his strengths or thinking about, I guess it's more of the claiming, but it's okay. Anyways, he talks about how in his household, he uses his competing strength to compete with his sister to who can get the chores done the fastest, right? Or he knows.
That's a good tip, parenting.
Yeah, or if he doesn't get his chores done, his dad's gonna get mad, and that's his future thinker strength, right? So he has owned these strengths, and then he kind of can use it in future situations to be like, ooh, I need to get my chores done by 12 p.m. before my dad gets home, or else I'm gonna get in trouble, right? So this is an example of a 9th grader, Alexander, who went to Montgomery Middle and was a strengths leader.
Hi, my name is Alexander, and I was Montgomery strengths leader at Montgomery Middle. My 3 strengths are competing, future thinking, and relating. The strength that helped me at school is relating. Me and my friends has helped. Relating has helped me and my friends stay focused during school. I've known my friends since 1st grade, and we've been helping each other since now we're in high school. Alright, so the impact at home, my strengths that help me at home are competing. Me and my sister compete a lot of who can get the chores done fastest. We compete by being to be the person between the room faster. And future thinker helped me, like, that I have to get my chores done, because if I don't, well, then my dad or my parents will get mad at me. So, that's it. That's it.
He was in ninth grade, yeah, he was in ninth grade, and he was a little shy, but I'm really proud of him for discussing it. And we have some other videos, but for the sake of time, maybe we could like email it to you all later. Okay. So this is the aim activity, right? You're gonna take a situation in the future and you're gonna aim, like, what strength can I use in that situation? So we have a pretend scenario for you. And here it is. It says, Corina is posting content on social media that is culturally insensitive. She is a student athlete at school and has lots of followers on her social media. Many of her peers and followers have been offended. Corina has received many negative comments and several threats. Okay. And we all know this is an issue with social media, students not knowing the correct things to post, especially her being a student athlete, she's supposed to be a student leader at the school. So pretend Corina is your child, and her top 3 strengths are future thinker, competition, and dependability. Okay? How can you use one of her strengths to parent or guide her to understand the impact of her decision? Okay, so that's what we're gonna have you think about. We're gonna have you look at the one for kids, right? And we're gonna have you look at those 3 strengths: future thinker, competition, dependability. And think of, like, when you have a conversation with her, what can you talk to her about? What can you say? How can you use her strength to help her understand how that situation really wasn't the best thing? And what one of your parents' strengths, the other sheet, are you gonna use in that discussion? So you guys can work, like, maybe have like a 2-minute discussion with the people around you, or a 2-minute think time if you want to think by yourself, and see how you're going to use her strengths to help her in the situation. 2 minutes to kind of think. I'm a teacher. I hope this isn't too high school.
You take about 1 more minute. Thanks, honestly, the visual.
Oh, you're welcome.
I love it.
Yeah, I think it's a sped.
Yeah, I do that with my emails, and I think it is the sped teachers. You just do the bold stuff, because when it's a long email, people don't read it, and then the bold things, it's like an accommodation for students, so
I need it.
it comes naturally to us.
It takes me hours to.
Is it time? And it's okay if it seems like tough right now, right? Like, I feel like we've been doing strengths for like a little while longer than you. So if it's like tough to think like, I don't know, it's okay. But it's like, once you get more familiar with it, you'll learn how to understand and do it better. But did anyone have any ideas about a strength of the student that you might use in that conversation? Yeah.
Yeah, my sister and I had talked, like, she brought it up, really, the future thinker idea was like, telling child maybe consider Googling the situation, like what's the current context around it? You never know. There
Yeah.
might be a popular topic, but what has been said about it instead of just tossing your opinion in there.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
And then I threw in the competition,
Uh-huh.
which was like, if you really like competing, you're gonna have to keep a good social media presence. Because if you say anything, you're gonna get disqualified online, which then affects you in real life. So like, if you wanna keep competing, you're gonna have to be mindful of what you post.
Exactly.
That's kind of what we got.
Great, thank you.
Nice.
Yeah, good. Did anyone else have anything similar?
I have something similar to hers, but using dependability because it's someone people are depending on as an athlete, so I want to use that strength too.
Yeah, wow, those are the same things that we came up with too. I was thinking about how the dependability, how the school is using the student as like a student leader, right? A lot of people, teachers, coaches are depending on her to have a good image at school and online, right? And then the same thing with the future thinker, if she's planning on going to college to be a student athlete, they will disqualify you. I just went to SDSU on a field trip with the football team, and they talked about how they check your social media. If you have anything questionable, you're out. You don't get that scholarship, right? And the competition, same thing. They need to be able to compete, right? Like compete for those scholarships and have a good social media presence. So yeah, definitely. Great job. Nice job. Yeah. Did anyone think about any parent strengths or your individual strengths in that conversation? That was a little tough for me. I was trying to think of it right now too.
I used my strategic, that's my number one on it. So I was like, well, I gotta strategically think, how am I gonna communicate this information without kind of making it too personal? Those are just facts we laid out.
Yeah, yeah.
There wasn't nothing personal to them.
Nice. I was thinking too, drawing maybe on my empathy, like making sure, like as an adult, I definitely know why that situation is wrong, but maybe like relating and being a little softer in my approach so she doesn't get, too offended or too hurt when I have that conversation, because she still is like young. And I was also thinking my individualization, like making sure I individualize the examples and stuff that I use to her situation. I know Griselda just came in. Was that our time?
We're getting close. I think she's just checking.
Okay. Yeah, good job. Nice. That was great. Cool.
Like I said before, these are good parenting conversations that happen regardless, but when you can strategically think about and have these conversations with the common language of strengths, and again, coming from that strong perspective versus, the negative perspective, your conversation is much more impactful. Okay? We did put together some next steps that you can take. We do really recommend the assessment, and kind of the model that we've used is when you understand it and do go through it yourself as an adult, you're going to really name them, claim them, and be able to aim them yourself. Once you have that personal knowledge of how it can work, then you can much better pass that along to your kids and the relationship that you have, and hopefully using strengths as a common language or as a tool in your parenting.
Can I just add really quick? I feel like after taking strengths, I learned so many things about myself, and I feel like I'm just able to use it every day. Like I would wonder why I would go to make a lesson plan, and an hour later I have 30 windows or tabs open on the computer, and I didn't get anything done, but I learned a whole bunch of new things, right? And that was like, it made sense that that's my input and my learner, right? So it made me feel like, okay, I'm not just crazy. I just like to learn new things, and I get distracted easy, right? So I feel like I'm almost 30, right? And it's helping me, and I'm growing so much through strengths. I couldn't even imagine just like a little 14-year-old, 13-year-old, 10-year-old, 18-year-old who's a teen, and it's really hard to go through those times, learning about themselves more. So, yeah. Sorry, just wanted to add.
And I've used the book myself. Like I mentioned, my daughter's 9. She actually took the test when she was 8, and I think I was just having a conversation with Mr. Zumstein because he's got 5 kids. So sometimes I go to him and I was just like, I don't understand my daughter. And he was like, well, I think she's okay. And so we took the strengths test, and I've read the book. And so I've been able to use that with my daughter. And now we have a better relationship because it was just kind of like I was very frustrated. And now through the strengths, I've been able to understand her, and that's how I approach her. And sometimes she tells me she wants me to make her a shirt, and she'll come up to me and she'll tell me like, well, remember, mommy, it's because of this. And so it's helped us at home a lot. And again, she was 8 when she took it. She took it herself. Maybe there was 4 questions that she didn't understand, and I wanted to jump in and be like, you're this, but I didn't, and it just kind of skipped. But it's been helpful for us at home as well.
And the assessment, again, like, we can't say enough about the assessment, but it really, once it spits out, you know, it's an insight guide report that we really want you to look into. But that's where it really talks specifically about you. You have the general terms that it'll give everybody, but really that assessment that they'll ask you something like, you know, would you rather read a book on the beach or go to a big sporting event? And all these just weird 177 parent questions. It takes, you know, a good 30 minutes, but you'll be amazed at what it generates. And, you know, we could share the same, we share many of the same strengths, but they're explained much differently by the answers. And I guarantee you'll read it and you'll really connect with it. And if you don't, ask your significant other, ask a family member, ask your best friend. They'll tell you, you know, that, yeah, no, that's you. You just need to reflect and think about it. So we hope that you enjoy. We have a gift for you, which is the strengths-based parenting. And at the back end of that, if you open it up, there's a code for the adult version and for the, you know, the junior version. Please use as you see appropriate and hope that you enjoy it. Check the Montgomery High website if we're ever offering a parent workshop, like our parents have led, Ms. Haro has led. You know, you'll see that. You're welcome to come and join us. If, you know, we have on the last slide, but I think we have our emails that you can connect with us as well. And we just hope that you enjoyed the workshop and hopefully are able to dive into Clifton Strength Finder and strengths-based parenting more in the future.
We have a sign-in sheet in the back. So again, our parent workshops aren't just for our Montgomery parents. They're open to all schools. We had, I think, 3, 4, we have 4 of them, I believe. And we have parents even come from the elementary feeder schools to our parent workshops. So if you're interested, there's a sign-in sheet there. Leave your name and email address, and myself, I work with the Parent Center. I'll be contacting you and letting you know, hey, these are the following scheduled parent events that we're having, and then you're welcome to come and join us.
And any questions? Does anybody have any questions? Yes.
I just want to thank you because I'm one of those parents. I'm from San Isidro High, and Rosita invited me to one of the trainings, and I'm so grateful to take it. Thank you, Rosita, and thank you for hosting us as the other school that you say. I recommend it to everyone, and I looking for taking to my school also. and not only my school, I talked to Rosita. It's things that we need to take it to all the students, to the community, to the parents. That's so amazing, and I knew, and the one they did it for the district, the one for the parents, and wow, it's amazing to know. Sometimes you really don't realize what is this. That's why and sometimes probably the parents hear the word and say what exactly is what, but when you took the chance to have this to say, oh my God, what is this? It's helping you a lot to understand you more and to try to. I'm looking to do it for my kids. I have 2 kids, but I say I'm so fortunate to have been invited to this and also be here. Thank you for doing this.
Thank you for sharing.
And colleges and the workforce are using this as well and have been for some time. So it is pretty well known when you start to look into it.
I also, when I was in high school, I took it and I put it on my resume to apply for jobs. And it was like, I was able to talk about it, like, oh, I have this one strength, and use it as a talking point in my interviews. So I feel like it really can help your students and your teams. Yeah. Thank you for coming. Thank you so much.